Dr. Carson, how would you beat Hillary Clinton?
Well, I think Hillary Clinton's going to beat herself because she is the epitome of the progressive movement. I don't think you can get a better example of it. And I think all we have to do is show that there is a different way. There's a way that characterizes the American spirit with self-empowerment and hard work and true compassion. That's kind of compassion that lifts people out of a state of dependency and promotes them so that they can take care of themselves. That's the kind of thing that will contrast us with the progressive movement that pats people on the head and says, there, you poor little thing. I think in terms of the things that she's done already, like Benghazi, she don't get a pass on Benghazi if I'm there, believe me, because we have never left our people behind. We have never said it's too dangerous, it's too far. And when we start doing that, we start deteriorating the morale. And people start second-guessing themselves when they're in a dangerous situation. Are they going to have my back? We don't want that. She's a perfect example of what we don't want.
What would you do on immigration?
Immigration, first of all, I would stop the illegal immigration. How do you stop that? You seal the borders. We have the capacity to do that, and I'm sure it could be done within a year. You also have to turn off the spigot for all the goodies, things that are attracting people here. You do that, you'll stop the flow. You still have 11 million people who are here. What are you going to do with them? Well, I would give them an opportunity to become guest workers. They get involved in a back tax program, and that way they can come above ground. It doesn't give them voting rights, doesn't give them citizenship. If they want that, they have to get in the back of the line and go through the process just like everybody else does, because we must keep in mind there are many people who have done it the right way, and we cannot put people ahead of them.
Oklahoma has a lot of military bases, and military bases are regularly subject to closure and realignment, and even Republicans these days are talking about cutting defense spending. Where do you stand on those issues?
No, just the opposite. We're at a time in history where our enemies, the people who want to destroy us, are growing like wildfire. Cutting defense, that's idiotic at this time. We need to be looking for ways that we can strengthen our military. You know, our Navy is at its smallest size since 1917. And we're in danger of becoming a regional Navy when we have global interests. The equipment is in disrepair. We're gutting the personnel with sequesters. It's exactly the wrong direction. And I think that needs to be reversed quickly, because if we get it wrong on the military front, nothing else matters.
What's the biggest problem with the Republican Party today that you would want to change?
I want to change the image of the Republican Party. The Republican Party has good ideas, but perhaps has not articulated them in a way that they resonate with the majority of Americans. And we want to be known as the party that provides the mechanism for people to climb out of a state of dependency and become part of the fabric of the American dream.
Finally, would your flat tax proposal mean a tax hike for lower and lower middle income Americans?
Well, it would certainly mean a tax hike for people who aren't paying any taxes. But I think what we have to be looking at is what is the overall impact, what is the overall effect. If we get rid of some of the things that are depressing the economy, then we have a tide that rises and lifts all boats. And as you lift all those boats, people will have more resources. And in the long run, they're much better off. You know, it's sort of like the same deal with, in most of our states, you can collect more on, you know, government benefits than working a minimum wage job. So a lot of people say, why should I work the job? Well, if you work the job, you learn skills, you have relationships, you climb the ladder. A year or two later, you're much better off than if you've been just sitting there collecting benefits. This is the kind of thinking that must be brought back to America once again.
Thank you very much, Doctor.